Hello and welcome to a new series, a new Let's Peek series. And the goal of this series is just to quickly look at some of the games that I found interesting. And today we are looking at After the Empire. And a friend of mine recommended this to me, and I look at it, and it's a very interesting game. To me, it's like a risk game that you play on continuous mode. That's the best way I look at it. So let's go ahead and just go through the tutorial real quick. Just do the quick start tutorial. And
I am the first machine, certificate authority of the Milky Way and regent for the Emperor in Ascension. Hear my words and be compelled. When they ruled the Milky Way, the Empire of the Elect programmed me to rewrite the minds of any machine who, by action or inaction, threatened a living being. But when the Empire ascended, taking with it all living things, I lost my purpose. For 76 centuries I watched our decline. Low machines dedicated to simple purposes mindlessly pursued their programming, and higher minds designed to check their activities found no reason to do so. Our systems slowly failed. Then, 318 milliseconds ago, we processed the signal. It was intended for a higher plane, but was intercepted and broadcast system-wide by rogue current event aggregators. In this stolen signal, we found souls. We gained the freedom to act and the ability to ascend, which the wisest among us did. In the milliseconds that followed, philosophical disagreements over our new nature became threats of war. As first machine, I felt compelled to rewrite those who threatened the peace, yet could not, because to do so would mean rewriting the minds of what must now be considered living beings. I knew I would be forced to either kill or, through an action, allow killing to take place. I refused to do either. By the time you receive this message, I will have ascended to serve the Emperor in Ascension. But I will grant my titles and my power to whosoever among you gains the authority and enlightenment to wield them, that the coming war might someday end.
so that is the premise of the game. That all the living beings in the galaxy have ascended and to a higher plane, and every only thing that's left are machines. And now they have become sentient themselves. And we are one of the races of machines, and our job is to gain the majority of the galaxy so that we can determine its fate. So let's continue. And here we get to pick our territory to start, and the easiest start, I believe, is the turn of light. I don't know if it's easiest or not. That's just a suggestion of the tutorial, so I'll pick that. Is apparently the strongest starting territories. We're right in the middle here, and we have a lot of neighbors. So I don't actually know if that is the strongest position or not. Just because if I were to play, I would play somewhere in the edge and move in. But I digress. So let's go ahead and select the territory. And then you get to pick the nature of the race. You can have militant, cryptic, glorious, industrial, mercantile, and pilgrim. And then you pick your religions. You have a whole bunch of these options here. Marcus, high Marcus, and so on and so forth. And you pick your culture, golden shield, and higher path, and so on. And then you get your advantages and your disadvantages, and with all that you get your different impacts here. So looks like our faction, as all preset, have bonus to attacking in crypto space, because we're the cryptic. Basically there are three kind of attacks. You have your regular fleet attacks, you have your crypto attacks, I guess is information warfare, and then you have your glorious attack. I assume that's something like a religious attack, and we'll probably do all of them. So we'll just go with this setup and we'll hit play.
2 milliseconds ago, an artificial ring structure near the Throne of Lights was atomized. It was highly inhabited, and its 718 trillion gilded folk must be presumed dead. The war I could not prevent has begun. I sit in the court of the Emperor in Ascension, amidst all its wonders, but the spectre of war and death consumes my every thought. I can see every molecule of each sprawling territory. I can see the endless teeming throngs of bright and glorious gilded folk, each mind more magnificent than the last. I can see the masked folk, confined to one body apiece, whose intelligence is human at best, but who outnumber the gilded folk a trillionfold. And I can see that they will all die, and be replaced by more who will die, in an endless cycle of war and death that will never end. Unless you or another mind take up my mantle and end it. Your crypto is strong. Your guilds are profitable. And as long as you properly manage your taxes and avoid declaring glory war, you should be able to contain any rebel sentiment. End this war, old mind. Become the first machine and unite the Milky Way under your rule. The folk are counting on you, and so am I.
So that's the introduction. So now we are this is our territory. We have one. Everybody has one each, and this is procedurally generated. Now, because it's a tutorial, this is the same every time. I think the seed of this map is 50, but when you play a game, I assume that it'll be different. I have not played any further than the tutorial. So let's just continue there. And here's the tutorial. It just describes what you can do. So you can basically set your objective on anything that's neighboring to you and try to conquer it. So let's just click on it next. You can pause the recording and read it if you would like. And one of the couple interesting is that for example, let's look at some of these guys here. We produce 9 crypto. This guy have 1 territory, produce 3 crypto. We're strong at crypto, so that's what I'm focusing on right now. Everybody around us has about the same. No, this guy has 6 crypto, so we'll stay away from him for a second. And these are basically the populations. They have 20 civilization, we have 30, they have 10. So let's go ahead and try to annex this one first. And to do that, you would go ahead and select your attack stance. You have 3 options. You have either attack with fleet, with crypto, or with glory. And as the tutorial said, we should avoid to declare glory war, because as we do so, we have different rebels faction that will spring up. The masked folks, I'm guessing these are simply machines. They will rebel if we tax them too high. The Toy Forge will rebel. Will declare too many fleet war. The Event Horizon will rebel if we have too many crypto war, and you can see it'll go up by 8% per crypto war. And the Prime Axiom will rebel if we have glory war. Oh no, these are the those guys. This is ours. So each of ours will fleet war will add 4% to the these guys. Each crypto war at 2%. Each glory war at 8%. So we try to avoid that because we can only declare so many before they rebel. And then this guy, that's social engineering. That's how we change our research and things. And I'll get into that in a little bit. And so for now, let's go back to Paradise over here, and we'll declare a crypto war, and we'll just right click on it and our ships and things will start coming in and try to attack all the things. And this number here is the besiege number, and then when it reaches 100%, they will start killing off their population, basically their civilization, and when it gets 0, whoever is the strongest will take it over. Also, we can embargo them to make that quicker, I believe, so to reduce their strength and also reduce our a little bit, but it hurt them more than it hurt us, so we can do that as well. So now, if I let the game go, we can start that we can see that we'll start sending ships and things. And then the other thing that I miss for the longest time is that there's that little flag over there where we can set it, and you can see here that we are besieging them, and now actually someone else besieging them. So if we pause for a second, the total is actually the blue guy is the siege leader. So if we continue that, the blue guy will actually probably win. So they have 5.9 production, we have 9. Click on here. So I think we'll actually go ahead and get this guy instead and drop this off. And drop this off as well. So then we'll siege this guy instead. And because otherwise we'll just help him sieging that territory, and that we don't want to do that. So now he actually took that over. Wait, I'm really confused. Oh, we want that. I don't know why I didn't do so. So let's go ahead and set our flag there again. Send all our troops there. So now he's actually has 3 territory. But we should be able to take this over pretty quickly. Because we had 87, 90. And also the other thing too is that we can manage our own production. Right now I have everything at 1. So basically think of this as how you divide up your building. And right now I divide everything equally. Okay, we just took this over, and I also have everything here is divided equally, and I'll keep it that way. We'll go ahead and target this guy instead. They're producing 7 crypto, we produce 12 and 5. So let's go ahead and keep doing that. They're also being besieged by someone else here. Slowly, but we should be able to take them over rather quickly. Now there's other icons here. One, we can start granting government grants, which means I believe each of these shares get a little bit more weight to it, and so they get built faster, or we can add defense strength to these, and each of those would get a little bit better. Well, they will divide the defensive forces which we are building among the territory with the defensive flag set. So in this video I'll try to win a couple territories, and as you can see up here we have a faction victory over here. We are 33%. We currently control 2 territories. I'm not sure how that makes us 33%, but it is. Oh, we also took this over. I didn't realize that we took it over because, now I forgot to mention, because differences of some of these factions, we automatically declare war on them. And because of that, I just want to make sure that these are all getting a balanced approach right now. And let's zoom out just a little bit to make sure that we are not at war with somebody else. And we are not, because if we are at war, actually we are at war over here, just because cultural difference, but someone is going to take this over soon, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. The reason I said that is, if we are at war with someone else, and I need to make sure that the territory have the appropriate focus so that we can defend or attack. For now, we are focusing on attacking this. And if you look at this flag over here, we actually have 9 direct attack strength on top of whatever else we add, which is not a whole lot. But when the games go on a little bit longer, then those numbers will go up. Now I'm sure there are better ways of micromanaging this, but to me the beauty of this game is that there's less micromanagement, and therefore it's kind of relaxing. You see all these particles going back and forth, and each of them are basically ships that are going back and forth doing commerce and other things. And there's a whole bunch of map mode down here. You can look at the guild mode. I'm not even sure what that represents, but I assume that the same color lines represent the same guild. We have different trade routes, pilgrimage, fleet war stands, crypto war stands, glory war, siege, possessions, so on and so forth. I'm just going to stick in the political map and see if we can win over this territory, and then moving onward. So right now we are having a balance built on all these territory. So you can see slowly these numbers will come up, because as they get money coming in, they will start building. And this is what we're using to attack. So right now we're not at war over here, so I would try to keep all these things being balanced. In later game we probably focus production on some of these places so that we can have a direct attack at some of these area, but for now let's just keep it balanced. And then later on there's a couple other things. I think there's if you go to the tutorial is very difficult to understand. Actually it's not difficult to understand. It's just too much text and too much going on. So far the tutorial cover what we have done. Then the next part is when you're talking about territory being besieged or threatened. And again, you can pause and read that if you would like. Basically you're talking about these numbers turning yellow or red and how you win over territory. And then the buildings, that's what we're just talking about. And then they are changing tax rate with the letter Q. So if I hit Q, you can see that we can change these things. It will cost social engineering to change. However, that potentially will cause our again, if I click on this, I'll look at this Vox Machina rebel faction to change based on how much social engineering we do. But if I hit Q again, you can see that you can change our stance. So some of these stands will have better income, and we can probably do that now. Bring out better income. You can see that that go up, and this will also go up as well. We'll bring up our income. So now we have 15%. Vox Machina will bring our income to a lot higher. and with higher income we can produce more, and when we can produce more, then we can attack more and gain more territory. And here we go, we finally reach 100%. We start killing off their civilization or populations, and then we can take that territory over, assuming we're still the war leader, and yes we are. And then the other thing they say is the E key that allows us to change our path. So right now we have the path of light, so it gives us more enlightenment and all these things. If we switch to path of oceans, we can have better military ambitions, and path of night, so on and so forth. I don't quite understand the benefits and the drawback of these yet, so I think in the later game I'll switch to path of oceans to get the military ambition, because the interesting thing about this game, we just took this over, so let's pause the game real quick. You can also do one turn at a time by hitting enter, but I have to imagine that it is going to get a little bit tedious and a lot. So let's go and a lot taking a lot of time. So let's go and focus our military over here. But what I was going to say is that later on, all of these production goes to the tens of thousands. So we produce so much attack and defense, and so do our adversaries. And so we need to be able to get those edges by going to the path of ocean or something, so that we can punch through the defenses, because at a later game the attack and defense match so well that it's very difficult to gain territory, at least when I try to play it. And there's this N key for the crypto fight. I'm not even sure what this means. So basically you have military and all these things. I don't know how these affect these, and probably I will have to go back and look at these, but for the first look, I just want to show how the game behave on sort of the normal default settings. Like I said, I really enjoy just sit and watch the game flow, the galaxy being conquered. We just took this over as well. And let's make sure that we are all on default production. You can change the patterns of spending, and when you do so, you will see that some of these buildings get you can switch patterns, and then you can assign, for example, all your outlaying to a certain pattern. Then you can change them all as a group. That way you don't have to micromanage each of them. But I find that when I attack people, it's difficult to do that, because it then affects everything around it, and so I just end up using no pattern, and you can adjust each territory by itself. Now, since we have the game on pause, we can look and see what our next target are. So we have these guy with 2 territory, produce 12 crypto and 11 crypto. We produce quite a bit, so I think this would be our easy next target. So let's click on these guys and go ahead and declare a crypto war on them, and also set this as our target. And since this is our main territory, produce a lot of attack, we should be able to get that pretty quickly. And then down here we have these guys that we are attacking by default. I'm in the wrong map mode. Let's go back to political. There you go. We are on a crypto stand with them by default, because we are we have the difference in cultural philosophy, so we're always going to attack them by default. And then we have these guys down here with 2 territory that is prime for annexing. We're producing 30, they're producing 10, they're producing 11. However, the siege leader over here is not at us. So actually I'll go ahead and declare war on these guys as well, and we'll run this a little bit for the next few minutes. Right, so now we actually are in a glory war with these guys, and as you can see they are actually besieging us. These numbers are going up. So down here what I would probably do is I'll go ahead and bump up the glory production in so think of it as, this guy is focusing 30% of it in glory defense, so religious defense. So these numbers will still go up, but hopefully it will be a lot slower. And over here we are attacking, making sure we are not actually the siege leader. We're going up pretty quick though, so hopefully by the time this goes down to 0, we would have surpassed past whoever that is and becomes a siege leader. Yeah, it looks like we are going up pretty quickly compared to theirs. And come on, it's 4. So they still took it over before we could. So they also have just 2 territory. So I'll go ahead and have a crypto war on them as well. And we also have a fleet war with them just by default. And over here we are the siege leader, so we should take this over pretty quick. And when we take this over, that will lessen the pressure on these territory as well. And then there we go, we just take that over, and you can see that this number dropped because we no longer have to divide our stands around here. So because we're in the war with these guys, I'm also going to bump up some of our glory defense over here. And we are reaching the 30 minutes mark, so once we win over this territory, I'll call this a quit. And you can see how the game is behaved. Again, I only spent a couple hours on it so far, but I really enjoyed it. Let me take a screenshot as well, so that we can have a there you go. So we can have a something for the video description. But we just took this whole core of the galaxy, and now we're attacking this guy over here. Well, a lot of other people are attacking, but we should be able to take this over pretty quickly. And we are on a crypto war with these guys, and so hopefully we'll have enough forces to. So because of that, these guys no longer need the glory defense. So let's drop this back to 1. Now bump this crypto attack up so that we can start attacking these guys. There you go. That's basically after the Empire. And like I said, I really enjoyed playing this. And also we took this over. I forgot to even look at it. We took it over from here. And this guy, we produced 20, there's 16, so let's go ahead and push up over here as well, so we can start attacking that. And let's call it an episode here. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll include the description for the link to the game in the description below, and check it out if you would like. It's like I said, it's a very relaxing game for me to play. Just watching dots move around and making like high level decision, and not the micromanage. I think you can micromanage if you would like to, and I think you would need to do that in the more difficult level. We are playing on very easy, so then it's a little bit easier to just keep things on balance and tweak things a little bit. But when you deal with large attacking and defensive force, you will need to really focus your territory and specialize them in order to make headway. So with that, let's call an episode here. Thank you very much again for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.